You are looking at the Scarsdale High School Gymnasium on the campus of Scarsdale High School, where today the Mt Vernon Knights will play the Scarsdale Raiders in a rematch of last year's Section 1 championship in which Mt Vernon controlled. Working along with me, Mike Shiro, will be Mike Burke, who's going to tell us a little about this game.
Oh, Mike, first of all, a happy and healthy new year to everybody. Happy 1990. And I tell you, what a way to bring in the new year than with this game right here. First of all, you have a game within a game with the two coaches. Marshall Reeve took over last year with huge shoes to fill, those being Tony Fiorentino's, and he took them right to the Section 1 finals, and they beat Scarsdale, taking the championship. And Jack Haminer, well, all you have to say is Marshall Reeve's single most fear coming into this game is Jack Haminer. So that's the story right there. The tempo for this game is going to be a mixed tempo. Now Vernon is looking to run and press at every opportunity because they have the athletes to do so. Scarsdale is handicapped today. They're going to most likely be without James Donovan. He had some surgery on his foot, and he's going to give it a shot in spot situations, but his rebounding and scoring is going to be missed. As you know, he was the MVP of the preseason Christmas tournament. So Matt Clayton will be starting at center in his position. We've got a great game for you.
Starting for Mt Vernon will be at the guard, number 22, Derek Coleman. At the other guard, number 23, Rasul Saludin. At the center will be the senior, number 33, Will Humphrey. At the forwards will be Coleman's other brother, Eric, number 32, and Brian Pritchett, number 21. For Scarsdale will be number 12, Matt Clayton, at center. At the guards, number 23, Doug Knopp, and number 14, Mike Cicero. At the forwards, number 33, Stephen Cooper, a sophomore. And at the other forward, number 15, Jeff Cochran, a senior. And we're underway. Pritchard controls. Coleman are on the offense.
Look right away for Scarsdale to come out in a very attacking style, man-to-man. They're going to look to double the ball and really put pressure on Mt Vernon.
Saludin swings it to Coleman, who drives, puts up a shot. No good. Tipped in by the other Coleman, and Knopp try to bring it up against the one-man press of Eric Coleman.
This game will not be so one-sided in the fast break department. The Raiders will look to push the ball at every opportunity, but they don't want to overforce. They don't want to force issues that are not there. Because
yes,
if they get into a high-scoring game like that with Mt Vernon, they can kiss this one goodbye. So here they are in their motion half-court offense. They'll look for the back door most likely, and there it is.
Good call, Mike. That's exactly what Scarsdale will want, a half-court game. And it ends up in a foul. I believe that was on number 21, Brian Pritchett.
Raiders are so schooled in the fundamentals and everything they do. Defensive strategy, defensive positioning on offense, how they run, when they pass. They're just so good at everything. And that's a tribute to Jack Haminer and his coaching.
Cochran fakes the back door, decides otherwise, swings around to Clayton on the left, who drives. Good defense by Mt Vernon.
Excuse me, Clayton was very close to travel there.
As Cooper misses inside of 8. Saludin drives up the middle, brings it out to Eric Coleman from 18, bullseye.
Not exactly the way Mt Vernon wanted to come out. Not the pressure, that's exactly what they want. Marshall Reeve was telling me before the game that the press is what's going to win this for them because they can out-hustle Scarsdale, but the 18-footer by Coleman is not how they want to start. They want to start by running, but they will take it.
Definitely. But they are pressing like they said they would on every opportunity. As Cochran inbounds to Knopp, who will set up the offense once more.
The key to Scarsdale is their physical condition. They're not as fast, they're not as athletic as Mt Vernon or most of the other teams they play, but they're so well conditioned. They know no fatigue sets in with this team. They're right there at the end of the fourth quarter when free throws need to be made, when clutch defensive plays need to be made. They're right there, and they're there to make them.
Yes, hopefully Scarsdale will be in it in the fourth quarter. This Mt Vernon team is very explosive.
Well, if they control the tempo, they will be right there. That's all they got to do. They can't have a 60, 70-point game with Mt Vernon.
Right now, they are controlling the tempo. They're taking about 30 seconds on each possession. But they turn it over as Cochran couldn't Clayton could not find the handle.
I think that if we see enough half-court offense by the Raiders, you're going to see a very frustrated Mount Vernon team, which is going to result in a lot of forced shots on their offense, a lot of forced issues on the fast break. Now you see a bad pass right there. So the signs are there for the impatience.
Eric Coleman set up the Mount Vernon offense. A lot of movement, which is good. Coleman swings it to Salahuddin. Over to Brian Pritchett. He's a junior. Out to Salahuddin from 18. It's no good. Scarsdale hits the boards well, and Cochran clears to Knopp.
Very tough underneath the boards. You could hear Will Humphrey, who's a tight end, monster of a man. And Clayton was battling with him, and you could hear him grunt.
A lot of good pass by Cicero. Here comes Salahuddin all the way. Charge. Clayton, great play. Kept his position, and will go in Scarsdale's direction.
Scarsdale also very much knows when to take a charge and knows how to take a charge. That is something they practice extensively in their practices.
Here comes
all
Cicero.
the intangibles. That's why Jack Kaminer is a great coach.
Clayton at the top of the key. Over to Cooper on the right side. Looks inside, decides otherwise. Cochran at the top now. Good ball movement by Scarsdale.
That's the key to this game. Patience, patience.
The 5-second violation is called.
A little too much patience on the part of Clayton. You know he's got to be nervous, though. He was thrown into the breach. He did know he was getting the start, you know, around Christmas time because Donovan had the foot surgery. It wasn't like, you know, it was a last-minute idea here. But Clayton has got to be nervous.
Salahuddin over to Coleman. Humphrey posting up on the left side as Pritchett puts up the 6-footer, and Knopp clears.
As you will see later on, the Raiders will really miss James Donovan. Maybe that's why, because Clayton, his replacement, just traveled. But for reasons other than that, his rebounding and his scoring prowess will really be missed. We said before, he was the MVP of the preseason Christmas tournament, and he is.
We'll take a timeout and we'll be right back. As you see on your screen, the score is 2-0 in favor of Mount Vernon with 4:09 left in the first quarter.
Mount Vernon is really playing right into the hands of Scarsdale by not pushing the ball up the floor. Scarsdale will go into a full court man press, and it is broken.
Good defensive play by Knopp. Staying right with Eric Coleman. Knopp calling for the motion offense. Cochran drives right, kicks it back out to Cicero, who will go to the middle. Rejected, a foul, number 23, Rasul Salahuddin. That's his first personal. I believe that's Mount Vernon's first foul. No, that's his second.
I tell you though, if you're watching this game, not only for the enjoyment of watching it, but if you're watching to learn basketball, just watch Scarsdale on the offensive end. They really know how to move around in the motion offense. They really perform a clinic when they spread the ball around and work it and play to their pace. I just see one of the co-captains, Mike Cicero, he's got 2 shots.
First one is good. So Cicero breaks the ice for the Raiders. The score is now 2-1 in favor of Mount Vernon. Mount Vernon's defense is exceptional though. With the weak side help, Scarsdale will not have many easy shots today. They're going to have to take advantage of the ones that they do get. As Cicero cans his second. Scarsdale lining up in a press, and it works. Surprising. The Raiders, you want to slow the pace, you would expect that they wouldn't want to press, which usually causes an up-tempo game. But nevertheless, the Raiders press. Has not been bounced to Cochran. Risky cross-court pass to Clayton, who drives, gets the foul.
The famous saying is, defense creates offense. And the Raiders' full-court pressure on that inbounds pass created offense. They got the ball, they moved it around, just like they've been doing. Clayton found daylight, went to the hole, got fouled. 2 shots.
The Raiders very poised. Some teams might lose confidence when they go up against a big team like Mount Vernon. We're not really that big, but very good. But the Raiders, could see it in their eyes. They really want this one. As Clayton hits the second. Score is 4-2 in favor of Scarsdale. As they press again. Coleman will set up the offense. Calls out the play.
Coach Kaminer was telling us that he will never play a zone defense. They're a strictly man-to-man team in the full court press and in the half-court defense. His zero defense, though, which you will hear him call out because he's very verbal on the court, very vocal, is practically a zone. It's a very loose man-to-man. So it'll be a type of zone, which will give Mt Vernon some opportunities to shoot from the outside.
Rejected by number 31, Dave John Ming, who was just checked in for the Knights of Mt Vernon. Along with him, number 20, Duran Burrows, has come in.
Talk about making your statement. You check in and you put a shot into the stands like that. I don't think Knop's going to be penetrating to the hole too much. He does have a lot of confidence, though, so that may not stop him, though.
This Mt Vernon team is a great leaping team. As you can see, they've already blocked a few shots by Scarsdale. But Scarsdale, great movement, ball movement on their offense.
Here's the patience, the time to work it out, work for the offense. Cochran, beautiful, through the layup.
Even though Cochran got the shot off, there was a defensive player with his hand up, and I believe he got a piece of it. As Humphrey posts up on the right side.
Maybe the defense hit it, but that's definitely a shot Cochran has to make.
Rejected by Knopp. And he'll go up for the layup, and it's fouled. Great play by Doug Knopp coming out of nowhere.
That was one of the single most awesomest, if that's a word, plays that I've ever seen. That was just all-out defense. That's hand-eye coordination. That's leaping ability. That's quickness. That's timing. It's all there on that one play. That's a Jack Kaminer coach team. That's a Jack Kaminer coach player. And that's a guy who's going to be playing varsity for 3 years.
So Knopp will have 2 shots after the great defensive play. I didn't see him till the last second. I don't think the shooter did either, or else he wouldn't have put up that shot. As Knopp misses the first. 2:16 left in the first quarter. Our score is still 4-2 in favor of Scarsdale. Knopp hits the second. That will bring a big lift to the Scarsdale team.
Raiders are a very good free throw shooting team, as they usually are.
Mt Vernon successfully breaks the press, and Burrows will set the up. Foul, number 33, Stephen Cooper. That's his first personal. The one thing Scarsdale has to be worried about is the Mt Vernon explosion. They might be pretty rusty right now, but they could explode at any time. As Pritchard underneath gets the easy layup.
Clayton panicked on that last inbound. Knopp does not, however, keeps his cool under extreme pressure.
Cicero in the corner. Burrows right in his face.
Excuse me, Mike. Cicero's going to be looking for that shot. That 17, 18-footer out to about the three-point circle. It's what Kaminer wanted. Any easy jump shots and obviously layups, that's when they're going to push the ball. Whenever there's an opening, that is when Scarsdale is going to go for the gut. Very close to a 5-second violation right there.
Very close. Knopp coming off the screen by Clayton. Backdoor Cochran wide open. And a result from 2 points.
I'm going to tell you something right now. The pass was great, the backdoor screen was great, and the cut was great. But the best thing about that play was Cochran's head fake to get free.
As Humphrey throws it down court to no one, all there was a sea of white Scarsdale uniforms. I don't know who he was throwing that one to.
Scarsdale's impressing me. They got Mt Vernon reeling.
Yeah, Scarsdale's come out on fire. Mostly on defense, though. Not necessarily their shooting. Looking for revenge of that Section 1 defeat last year in the championship to this very Mt Vernon team.
I'm telling you, when this offense is run the right way. It is a clinic. Cicero should have gathered himself there, as Cooper did. Cicero would have wise to pull the rebound down and go up strong. He tried to do too much in the air.
Yeah, but you gotta like the way Scarsdale's hitting the boards.
Beautiful on the boards. I really thought they were going to be outmanned. In fact, Coach Cameron was telling me before the game that they were really going to have a tough time on the offensive glass. And he said, in fact, that they were not going to get any offensive rebounds because that's why they wanted to run in their spot positions and look for the open jumpers.
Substitutions for Scarsdale. Number 10, Andrew Wallach. Number 20, David Feuerstein. Number 34, Tim Blake, checking in for the Raiders. Placing Knopp, Cooper, and Clayton. Good defense by Scarsdale. Not letting any open men. Pritchard goes up for the 10-foot jumper. Humphrey over the back of Wallach. And he is fouled by number 10, Andrew Wallach. They've been looking for Humphrey a lot down low.
Brian Pritchard, last year's Section 1 finalist MVP, as he was one of many key pieces to the puzzle that won Mt Vernon yet another sectional title, defeating the same team. Scarsdale did lose a lot of players. Their star, Brian Janiak, as you know.
As Humphrey hits the first, those are his.
We're going to see James.
Points.
Excuse me, Mike. We're going to see James Donovan now. Despite the injury, you know he wants to play in this one. This is last year's rematch, and this is just a huge Section 1 Class A game. And despite the surgery, you'll see him hobble on the floor. Donovan wants to play, and this is one of the spot situations that he'll be used.
Scarsdale having an easy time breaking the press as Wallach puts up a 10-footer. No good. Stolen by Feuerstein. Cicero at the buzzer. Yes! A three-pointer by Mike Cicero at the buzzer, and this Raider crowd is going crazy.
Oh, I don't believe what I just saw. End of the first quarter. We'll be back. Low scoring, as we did not expect.
So, as the second quarter is about to get underway, Scarsdale sends its 5 onto the floor. But you gotta like that shot by Mike Cicero at the buzzer, a three-pointer. And Scarsdale takes the lead, 10-6.
Mike, I tell you, I've done a lot of broadcasting with you for Cable 36. We've done Raider football, we've done Raider girls volleyball, which is in a pinnacle right now. But I'll tell you, I'm having the best time that I've had in a long time doing this. This is really a treat. These two heavyweights duking it out. In the second quarter, it's 10-6. This is going to be an excellent game. We are just underway.
Not a smart pass by Blake. And I got to tell you something. I think this Mt Vernon team is stunned. They don't know what has hit them on the defensive end. 6 points. They're supposed to be an explosive offense. Not today, or at least in the first quarter.
This team will be back, though. This team has not come around yet, and they will. There's a lot of offensive punch in this team, and they will show it.
Not a smart pass by number 24, Tony Robinson. As Wallach picks up the loose ball, down court to Donovan, and he's fouled. Oh no, it's an offensive foul.
I like the idea a lot to push it up on the break. Obviously, that's what the Raiders want to do when they have a layup. But is it really necessary to give it to the big man on the break? You don't want him handling the ball, and he's got a bad foot as it is. So maybe a better decision next time by Wallach. But good idea. It's what the Raiders are looking for.
Eric Coleman swings it to Tony Robinson. And a foul on number 34, Tim Blake. I think Will Humphrey could be too much for Tim Blake today, as we have substitutions.
Will Humphrey could be too much for anybody.
The ref sending the subs back on. They're going to have to wait. But due to check in is number 23, Rasul Sahudini, and here he comes. He's replacing number 24, Tony Robinson, as the starters return for Scarsdale. But it will be Feuerstein in the place of Cicero. So checking the lineups now for Scarsdale will be David Feuerstein, Jeff Cochran, Matt Clayton, Stephen Cooper, and Doug Knopp. For Mt Vernon, it will be Sahudini, Coleman, Humphrey, Pritchett, and John Ming.
Jack Kaminer and his Raiders absolutely own Marshall Reef and his Knights right now. Having them for breakfast.
Violation called number 15, Jeff Cochran. So Humphrey will get another.
I just can't believe how flat Mount Vernon looks. They're such a powerful team. They're so explosive. They got 7 points with 7:23 left in the second quarter.
This is just what Scarsdale wants. Exactly. Kaminer has to be very happy now. Right now.
He doesn't look happy the way he's coaching, though. He'll coach this one until the bitter end, until that buzzer sounds. And that's the way this game will have to be coached.
Knopp to Clayton. Up court to Cochran with a great pass to Feuerstein to close the layup.
As you can hear, the fans do not like the call, and I don't either. I'm sure there was body contact. We can't see it from our vantage point, but I'm almost positive there could have been some body contact in that Feuerstein layup. Either that or he got extremely nervous throwing that shot over the rim.
Tony Robinson in the corner, out to Eric Coleman. 18-footer is good.
That boy can shoot. That's why he's co-captain.
Feuerstein brings it up, dishes it off to Knopp, back to Feuerstein. Into Cooper, not a good pass. Outlet to Saladini, who's intercepted by Knopp. To Feuerstein, to Clayton, who travels.
That's Clayton's second traveling violation, third turnover, so he's obviously has the butterflies. Coach Kaminer wants a timeout, and he gets it. Tied at 10, 6:39 left in the first half.
We'll be back. So, with 6:39 left in the second quarter, a low-scoring affair. 10-10. Mount Vernon and Scarsdale nodded.
I see entering the crowd in a little cameo appearance is Steve Hyder. 6'9", Jack Kaminer's center last year. A key reason, along with Brian Janiak, amongst others, why the Raiders played Mount Vernon in the section finals last year. You know Kaminer would love to have Hyder suit up for this one.
As John Ming takes it strong to the hole, gets the foul on number 23, Doug Knopp. Scarsdale Mount Vernon breaking the press successfully that time. They've had some trouble with it.
The key to that play was the ball fake. A pass could have easily been made, and the pass should have been made, but beautiful ball fake. There you see Steve Hyder. Little cameo appearance. Suit up, big fella. We need you. We need you, big fella. That's what Coach K is saying.
As John Ming hits his first free throw. Checking in for Mount Vernon will be number 32, Derek Coleman, replacing number 33, Will Humphrey. So I suspect either Derek Coleman or Dave John Ming to play the center position right now for Mount Vernon. Could be either one. As Steve Cooper cannot find the handle off the John Ming miss, Brian Pritchett will take it out for Mount Vernon. It's John Ming, power move. Oh, great play by Stephen Cooper, keeping his position.
Really held his own and held the ground on that play.
Even though he's only a sophomore, he's been playing very well as of late for the Scarsdale team.
Oh, he's got a lot of talent. I played with him last year on JV, and he could score at will. Nobody on our team was going to stop scrimmage sessions, and nobody on any other team in our conference at least could stop him.
Rush shot that time by Cicero. Scarsdale should be more patient like they were in the beginning when they took that big lead. They're getting a little impatient as of now. As they set up the press again. Long bomb, caught by Doug Knopp.
I really think it's time for Marshall Reeve to put a lid on that long touchdown pass press breaker because it's just not working. That's twice Knopp is intercepted. And it's ironic because he is a defensive back, and he had a few interceptions during the football season.
As Jeff Cochran crashes to the floor, he was tripped by number 32, Derek Coleman. Scarsdale has not been shooting well. Even though they are down by only one, they've missed a lot of easy shots. And a lot of them haven't even been close.
Mount Vernon sports a 5-0 record with wins over Clarkstown, South Spring Valley, Stepinac, Evander Child, and Ramapo. And they would not want to lose their first game to a league rival.
Big crowd on hand.
Scarsdale stands at 3-2. 2 of 3 wins coming in the holiday tournament.
As I said, there's a big crowd on hand. Mount Vernon, one of the big attractions around the county.
That dates back to a long time ago. The days of Rodney McRae, Mike. Scooter and Rodney McRae, you had NBA players, great college players. You had Gus and Ray Williams, who had fine NBA careers. So a long line of Mount Vernon tradition. And you can go into that gymnasium they have over at the high school, and banners just wave in the air there. Resembles Boston Garden in many ways. Tradition is long in Mount Vernon.
Scarsdale moving the ball effectively now. Look for a back screen to a wide open man. That's what they're looking for. When Mount Vernon not cracking at all. Cicero drives, loses the handle. Here comes Sahuddin on the break. Dishes to Scarsdale. Not a good play by Sahuddin. As Feuerstein goes coast to coast. Yes, it counts. Feuerstein going all the way.
That was a beautiful coast-to-coast play. Feuerstein is a scorer. He's got a scorer's mentality, and he was thinking nothing but layup on that play.
Coleman, 8-footer is good, and he'll shoot a free throw.
You know what I love? I really love watching Doug Knopp handle a rock. He's so smooth under pressure, whether it be full court press or just setting up the offense in the half court. So smooth.
Right now, one of the bright spots for Mount Vernon has been number 22, Eric Coleman. He's hit a couple of nice outside shots, and he's going to step to the free throw line right now. Oh, excuse me, right now it's going to be his brother, Derek Coleman.
Now you got the big fella, Will Humphrey, checking in.
Humphrey replacing number 31, Dave John Ming. Played pretty well. Feuerstein with a good rebound. Runs the break to Cicero on the wing. 15-footer is no good.
Look at the way Mount Vernon crashes the boards. 3 guys skying for that rebound. Scarsdale was lucky to get the ball back because Mount Vernon was all over the backboard on that play.
Feuerstein drives the middle. Rejected.
Feuerstein could conceivably have about 8-10 points right now. He's missed a lot of easy layups. He does have a field goal, though, for 2.
Sahuddin in the corner. They're looking to post up Humphrey, and they get it into him. Power move. Oh, great move by Will Humphrey. Just blowing by Mac Clayton. No contest there.
Will Humphrey, that was Charles Barkley. That move was so reminiscent of Charles Barkley, I can't even tell you. Big, powerful, strong move, and just rams it through the hoop. Power. That defines Will Humphrey.
You got an M&M'er right there. Big mismatch in favor of Mount Vernon. And Eric Coleman will set the O.
Very close to sliding. His pivot foot there was Coleman.
Great pressure P by Scarsdale. Sahuddin, air ball. But he gets it back. Bank shot is good. Mount Vernon picking it up a notch right now. They've scored about 3 times down in a row.
Raiders all over the ball defensively. Cameron calling for a holding foul in that last play where Feuerstein lost the ball. So Mount Vernon's starting to show us now what they're all about. They're about rebounding, they're about running and gunning, and they're about scoring a lot of points.
Cicero with the weak side rebound. Kicks it out to Feuerstein. 10-footer is no good. As Stephen Cooper cannot find the handle. Checking in for Mount Vernon is number 21, Brian Pritchett. Replaces number 23, Rasul Sahuddin. I think Sahuddin's been frustrated. He's a big scorer for this team. And he's been held to maybe 2 points, if that. Yes, he did hit a layup, 2 points.
Field goal for 2 for Rasul, excuse me.
Scarsdale playing a very tight man-to-man D. As Pritchett drives baseline. Once again, a charge. Scarsdale just excellent on the defensive end of the court.
That's simple. That is good coaching. The player knows how to stand in there and take a charge. It's all the little things. that make it happen. And that's why Scarsdale wins, despite being overmatched by many teams. Excuse me.
Michael Bosian, number 32, checks in for the Raiders. He's only a junior. He'll be on this team next year again.
Michael Bosian was very impressive in the Raiders' first game of the season. In a blowout over Ossining, Bosian came in for a couple of minutes at the end, scored 6 quick points. So he can do the job. We'll see what he can do against Mt Vernon, though.
17-13 is our score. Mt Vernon in the lead with 2:18 left in the first half.
The ball reversal for Mt Vernon hasn't been really that great. They seem to push it to one side of the floor, and that's where they keep it. For them to be successful, since their running game is not, they have to swing it around, tire the Raiders out, get an open jumper. This guy Coleman can really shoot the lights out.
Both of them, both Derek and Eric, have a very good shooting touch, both inside and outside.
Both co-captains, both brothers. It's the Coleman connection.
As Will Humphrey steps to the line, he'll have 2 shots, make it 1-1, and he misses it. Bosian up for the rebound, but Eric Coleman comes down with it. The Raider fans asking for a travel.
Jack Kaminer, quote unquote, "You gotta be kidding," to the referees. That was an obvious travel.
As Coleman bombs from 3, off the back and front iron.
And Mt Vernon does not make good on their good fortunes on that obvious travel call.
I think what Jack Kaminer is looking for is a close game down to the end, and then hopefully his Raiders take over. But as of now, it's 17-13 in favor of Mt Vernon.
In the matchup of 33s, Cooper trying to go over a Humphrey to no avail. Humphrey swats it out of bounds. Raider ball. Very close. Not going to need a time. Nope, maybe not. I thought he was going to have to get a TO right there.
Good catch by Jeff Cochran. And a line drive pass by Michael Bosian. Cooper was open back door for a second. Isnot makes a good bounce pass to Cooper. He puts up a 6-footer, and it's good.
Not only does Cooper display the nice touch on the 5-footer, which is very easily to fall short or shoot long on, because it's just a precise shot. Beautiful ball fake to get open. He's the sophomore, and he's a good one.
Inside to Humphrey, he's triple teamed. Oh, power move by Will Humphrey. Almost gets the opportunity for a three-point play, but he'll step to the free throw line for 2 shots.
I tell you, it's like watching Charles Barkley. He's like a truck in there. I really think it's really hard to tell. I don't know what they're doing down there. I think for the Raiders to be successful on Will Humphrey, though, is to double team him. You got to put 2 bodies on him at least, because he's just a truck, and he's not going to be stopped. And if Mt Vernon wants, they can have him score 25 points today, and that could be it for the Raiders. Got to put 2 bodies on him.
Donovan Feuerstein checking in for Bosian and Cooper with 1:28 left in the first half. Humphrey steps to the line again, and like Charles Barkley, gets to the line a lot. This could be his 3rd or 4th trip, only in the first half.
If he's so like Charles, I want to see a runaway freight train slam jam bam. I think we might see one of those before this game is over.
Not the way Scarsdale's defense has been playing. They haven't given Mt Vernon any fast break opportunities.
You'll watch
that away.
Excuse me.
Not a good shot by Cicero. Cochran hits the deck, comes up with it. Good power move by Jeff Cochran.
You can see it in Jamie Donovan's eyes, and you can see it in his limp. He is just not 100%. He's not even 50%, I don't think. He just had the foot surgery, as we said, and it's a big loss for the Raiders that he's only playing spot minutes. And those spot minutes are not good minutes because he is not healthy.
And also, he just can't get into the flow of the game.
You know, well, when you're only playing spot minutes, it's very difficult to get into the flow, and he's going to leave the game right now. Oh, no, he's not. Cochran, the other's co-captain for Scarsdale.
Dave John Ming checks in for Mt Vernon. As Cochran cans the 2nd free throw. 19-16 is our score in favor of Mt Vernon. Eric Coleman that is, done a good job running the Mount Vernon offense, as Burrows cannot find the handle.
That's a simple case of not catching before squaring. Burrows was ready to shoot. Actually, he's ready for the three-point stance, but you got to have the ball to go into the three-point stance. That's just a basic fundamental. You lose concentration in a big game, that's what happens. He's looking at the basket before he's looking at the ball in his hands. That is a no-no.
Cicero will now swing it over to Donovan. Inside to Cochran, and he's fouled. Burrows with the foul. So Cochran doing it on the last two trips down. Getting to the line both times.
Half minute left in the first half. 16 Mount Vernon. If I was Jack Cameron, I'd be very happy with what has gone on here. The pace is all Scarsdale. They've rebounded. It's something he didn't expect they were going to do. And they've really shown me something and shown this crowd something. They're saying right with this Mount Vernon team, as was expected. If I was Marshall Reese, I'd be very upset. I'm sure they're going to get a lashing at halftime. He's got a lead, but so what? His team has just not come out and done what they wanted to do. And that causes the coach a lot of agita.
I believe Mount Vernon will be looking for the last shot here. Maybe not.
No, 15 seconds left. They're definitely holding for one.
Robinson brings it around into Coleman's hands. Three-pointer, no good. Off Donovan's head. And that's the end of the first half, as Humphrey tries to plead his case to the referee. So, with the score 19-17 in favor of Mount Vernon, we'll be back with the second half. We are back for the second half. Our score is 19-17 in favor. We are back. Score 19-17 in favor of Mount Vernon. Mike is going to tell us the leading rebounders and scorers of the first half.
Well, for scoring, the unimportant part, really, of this first half. Derek Coleman for Mount Vernon had 6 points. Will Humphrey had 8. For Scarsdale, Cicero and Cochran had 5 each. you know, those were the leading scorers. The key to this one, though, was the rebounds. Jack Hammer came in here telling me we're going to have a very tough time in the offensive rebounds. That's quote unquote. He's got 14 rebounds. Mount Vernon has 9. Exceptional job on the boards by the Raiders. They just have to keep that up, keep playing their pace. And that 2-point deficit they face right now could easily be a 2-point victory or more. Turnovers, the Raiders have 9, which is a very high amount. Clayton owns 5 of those turnovers.
Starting lineups for both teams are the same as that started the game. And it'll be Mount Vernon ball. Brian Pritchett, 2 inbound. Ball goes to, oh no, stolen by Cooper. Knopp will bring it out. Smart play by Doug Knopp. Don't want to force anything here.
Denial was the key to that steal. Denying the basketball. He fronted, stuck his hand in, no foul, good position, total denial defense. Raiders are now on offense. Beautiful.
Nice backdoor pass that time by Matt Clayton. Knopp just unable to hit the layup. Salhoudini goes flying to the hole. No good. Loose ball. Knopp picks it up. Cooper. And the Raiders will set up the O. As Kaminer calls out the play. Cicero with a wide open lane. Off the back iron. Clayton hitting the boards. No foul called. Good save by Clayton. Cochran, turnaround jumper. No good. Will Humphrey flying to bring down that bound.
Yeah, he got that rebound, and Mount Vernon scores. But look at the way the Raiders control the offensive glass on that play. I love it when the underdog, who's not supposed to come in here and rebound or do anything, controls the offensive glass like that. Because the offensive glass should never be controlled the way the Raiders are controlling it today.
Clayton loses the handle. Humphrey on the break. Oh, no.
Showtime, baby. Here we go. This is what we were waiting for. I talked about the tongue lashing that Marshall Reef had to have given them at halftime. The Mount Vernon have responded. 5 unanswered points. They got a chance for a 3-point play with it was like Barkley on that fast break, streaking down the floor, mammoth of a man, getting a flying deuce. And the 3-point play is complete. It's a 7-point lead, and we've got a sub.
I think this is what Jack Hammer was afraid of. A Mount Vernon explosion. That time, Humphrey got out on the wing. And they always say you have to give it to the big guy when he gets out on the wing. And that time Mount Vernon did, as Knopp pulls up. 10-footer is no good. As Derek Coleman clears for Mount Vernon.
Very unorthodox pass right there. He's sending it down court with one hand. Takes a lot of strength to throw that baby on a line drive. And it just did not get done.
Look for Scarsdale to be very patient in this offensive set. As Feuerstein looks inside, brings it to the top of the key. Clayton going back door, but nothing doing. A lot of motion in this Raider offense. Never standing around. Good backdoor pass to Feuerstein. And the Raiders stay within 5.
That is the play that breaks backs. That is a backbreaker. A team is on a 5-0 spurt. They're about to run the score up. And then you just have a backdoor play like that. It's perfect. Monster rebound for Will Humphrey. Oh, excuse me, that was Eric Coleman. Derek Coleman.
I think this pace is exactly what Mount Vernon wants. In the first half, Scarsdale had its pace, which is very slow. And at the start of the second half, it's been all Mount Vernon's pace, which is fast.
Coach Kaminer realized that Mount Vernon is starting to take control of the boards, so he calls for his big man, Tim Blake, who just turned the ball over.
Salhoudin soaring to the hole.
I think it's TO time, baby. I think it's time to just for Jack Cameron to take his troops into the huddle, tell them they're playing great, tell them they've got a lot of time left, tell them that they're only down 5, and just to calm things down.
Checking in for the Raiders, number 10, Andrew Wallach, number 33, Stephen Cooper, replacing Knopp and Blake. Pritchard at the line. First one is good. 25-19 is our score. 5 minutes left in the third quarter. So far, it's been all Mount Vernon in the second half, but Scarsdale still keeping it close. So Cameron still has to be very happy. Mount Vernon in their press. Stolen by Pritchett, but the refs now say that he was out of bounds.
Mount Vernon very aggressive, as they always are.
Feuerstein, not a smart pass by Feuerstein.
Very good idea, though. He threw the bounce pass, which has to be done, and he saw Cicero for that split second, but he was a split second too late with the pass. Coleman made a great anticipation steal.
Good steal by Cicero. Wallach on the wing. Intercepted by Saludin.
Oh my God! Whoa! This is high school! Oh my God! Saludini went way up top for that one.
We're going to have to peel him off the rafters after this one.
Whoa! Saludini went up, hugged the backboard, and hugged Wallach in the same jump.
This crowd is shocked.
I am shocked.
That was some major flying. Whatever that was, hang time, I don't know what you want to call it. But Feuerstein at the line.
I don't think you can punt a better hang time than what that guy had. Or did he get up and block that shot?
And very ironically, he's wearing number 23.
Welcome to varsity basketball, Andrew Wallach. And a happy new year. 25-21 is our score, as you see on the screen. 25-21, excuse me.
Obviously, Coach Kaminer felt the press was very effective against this Mount Vernon team. So Scarsdale will stay with the press.
How much can they press, though, and not get tired, and have Mount Vernon run off 5, 7, 10 straight points?
Coleman for 3, no good. As Humphrey hits the glass, high off the glass. It's John Ming, puts it up, no good. But he follows his own shot. 27-21, Mount Vernon in the lead.
Now Scarsdale does trail by 6 now. As Wallach makes a beautiful move to the hoop. But really, the Scarsdale is in perfect position. This game is on track to be a 40-point game, maybe. And that's just what Scarsdale needed.
Crowd doesn't like the call. Felt Feuerstein had the position. On that last play, I think Coach Kaminer had to be very happy that he saw Andrew Wallach take it to the basket, even though on the previous play, Saludini rejected.
Raider bench exploded on that last play. They did not like the call, one bit. Mount Vernon flirted with a 5-second violation.
Saludini on the wing, into Humphrey. Good steal by Feuerstein.
Great strip.
Quick hands. Feuerstein stops, off the Wallach on the wing. 17-footer is no good. Mount Vernon will control. Long outlet. Good play by Saludin. Source to the hole. No good. Saludin struggling right now. Has only 2 points in the game.
Both teams are a little...
Cochran underneath. Foul on Will Humphrey.
I was going to say both teams are in a little drought.
Mike Bostian getting set to check in for the Raiders, along with Doug Knopp. They'll replace number 14, Mike Cicero, who played well. Now Coach Kaminer changes his mind. He decides to go with Clayton instead of Bostian, as Cochran sinks the first. So the Raiders down by 3, looking to cut it to 2 with this Cochran free throw, and they do.
Mount Vernon really has to start moving the ball the way they came out of the half. They came into the beginning of the third quarter like they were shot out of a cannon. And now they've slowed it down considerably. You can thank the Raiders for that.
Matt Clayton's checked in. So Mount Vernon up by 2, pounded into John Ming. Turnaround jumper off the glass is no good. Gets his own rebound up, no good. I believe the foul is on number 20, David Feuerstein.
That's where the Raiders were very successful in the first half. Mount Vernon really did not have a lot of second chances at the basketball. Now Mount Vernon is all over the backboards.
Kaminer sending in James Donovan. They replace Cooper.
Considerable hobble to James Donovan's strut.
John Ming will have 2. .244 left in the third quarter as Mount Vernon increases its lead by 4, 29-25. Here comes the Mount Vernon press again. Into Donovan. Should look to hand off to a guard, and he does. To Knopp. Weaves his way through Mount Vernon. Backdoor to Foy.